Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some breaking news about NASA's Artemis mission to the moon. NASA has encountered a brand new problem, and it might change everything about how humanity returns to the lunar surface. If you're excited about space exploration or curious about the challenges of sending humans back to the moon, stick around. You don't want to miss this. NASA's Artemis mission is a monumental effort to bring humans back to the moon after more than 50 years. The goal isn't just to plant a flag and return home like the Apollo missions. This time, NASA aims to build a sustainable presence on the lunar surface. Artemis will also lay the groundwork for sending humans to Mars. The first mission, Artemis IE, was an unmanned test flight that successfully orbited the moon. The following missions, Artemis II and II will carry humans, and Artemis II will land astronauts on the moon by 2025. However, recent developments have presented NASA with some unexpected challenges. NASA's Artemis mission has faced various technical and financial issues, but the latest problem is focused on the lunar lander system. Initially, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract to build the Human Landing System, HLS, which would safely transport astronauts to the moon's surface. However, recent reports suggest that delays and budget overruns are pushing the timeline further back than expected. To complicate matters, NASA might need a second lander system due to growing concerns that relying solely on one provider could jeopardize the mission if further delays or technical issues arise. So why the sudden push for a second lander system? The answer lies in risk mitigation. Relying solely on SpaceX for the Human Landing System puts the entire mission in jeopardy if something goes wrong. Developing a second lander would provide redundancy, ensuring that the mission can proceed even if one system faces issues. This isn't just about landing on the moon, but about making sure that the infrastructure for future lunar and Mars missions is robust enough to handle unforeseen challenges. Other companies, like Blue Origin, have shown interest, but this also means NASA needs additional funding to bring another player into the game. Speaking of funding, one of NASA's biggest hurdles with the Artemis mission has been the budget. Initially, the cost estimates for Artemis were high, but recent projections have ballooned. Building multiple lunar landers, developing new technologies, and funding long-term lunar infrastructure all come with hefty price tags. NASA has been advocating for more funding from Congress, but whether that will materialize remains to be seen. Without the necessary budget, NASA may have to reconsider timelines, scale back parts of the mission, or even delay the lunar landing once again. Despite these setbacks, NASA remains committed to the Artemis mission. The moon is considered a vital stepping stone for human exploration of Mars and beyond. The lessons learned from landing and living on the moon will directly influence future missions to Mars. Even though delays and financial constraints are serious concerns, NASA's ambition to make humanity a multi-planetary species remains strong. Artemis is not just about the moon, it's about the future of space exploration and what's possible when humanity pushes its boundaries. SpaceX is a major player in NASA's return to the moon, with its Starship being selected for the Human Landing System. Starship is an advanced spacecraft designed for deep space travel, capable of carrying large crews and cargo. However, SpaceX is still in the testing phase with Starship, and while the technology is promising, it is far from ready for human spaceflight to the moon. The pressure is on for SpaceX to deliver a reliable system, but recent delays in Starship's development have raised concerns about whether they can meet NASA's ambitious timelines for Artemis III. One of the critical reasons NASA is eager to return to the moon is the discovery of water ice at the lunar poles. Water is a game changer for long-term lunar exploration. It can be used for drinking, growing food, and even split into hydrogen and oxygen to create rocket fuel. Establishing a base near water sources will be key to sustaining human life on the moon. However, extracting and utilizing this water is no easy task, and NASA will need new technologies to make it feasible. The ability to use lunar resources is essential for the success of the Artemis program. The Artemis mission isn't just a NASA endeavor, it's a global effort. NASA has partnered with several international space agencies, including the European Space Agency, ESA, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, and the Canadian Space Agency, CCSA. These partnerships are essential as they allow NASA to pool resources and share the immense costs and risks associated with lunar exploration. For example, ESA is providing the service module for the Orion spacecraft, which will transport astronauts to lunar orbit. International collaboration will also be critical for future missions, especially as NASA looks toward Mars. One of the key components of the Artemis mission is the Lunar Gateway, a space station that will orbit the Moon. The Gateway will serve as a staging point for lunar landings and deep space missions. Astronauts will travel from Earth to the Gateway aboard the Orion spacecraft, then transfer to a lunar lander for the descent to the Moon. The Gateway will also act as a research station and a hub for international collaboration. However, building and maintaining this space station presents its own set of challenges, from logistics to cost. NASA is increasingly relying on private companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others to support its Artemis mission. This partnership is a departure from the traditional model where NASA developed and controlled all aspects of its space missions. By involving the private sector, NASA hopes to reduce costs and speed up innovation. However, this also comes with risks, as private companies are driven by their own commercial interests, which may not always align with NASA's goals. Balancing these interests while maintaining a focus on mission success is a delicate act. NASA's Artemis program isn't just about the Moon. It's a stepping stone for human missions to Mars. The Moon provides an ideal testing ground for the technologies and techniques that will be needed for Mars exploration. From building habitats to growing food in space, Artemis will help NASA understand how to sustain life on another celestial body. Moreover, the Moon is much closer to Earth, allowing for quicker communication and rescue missions if needed. The lessons learned from Artemis will directly inform the design and planning of future Mars missions. Training astronauts for the Artemis mission is a complex process, unlike the Apollo missions, where astronauts stayed on the Moon for just a few days. Artemis aims for long-duration lunar missions. Astronauts will need to be trained in everything from building habitats to operating advanced robotics. NASA is also focusing on selecting a diverse crew, reflecting the agency's commitment to sending the first woman and the next man to the lunar surface. The Artemis astronauts are undergoing rigorous training, including simulated lunar environments and spacewalks. While the Artemis mission is exciting, it also raises questions about the environmental impact of returning to the Moon. Landing on the lunar surface, mining for resources, and building habitats all have the potential to disrupt the Moon's delicate environment. NASA has committed to minimizing its footprint, but balancing exploration with environmental protection will be an ongoing challenge. This issue will only become more important as NASA plans for a permanent human presence on the Moon. One of the lesser-known challenges of lunar exploration is dealing with lunar dust. The Moon's surface is covered in fine, abrasive dust that can damage equipment and pose health risks to astronauts. During the Apollo missions, lunar dust caused problems with the astronauts' suits, helmets, and spacecraft. NASA is working on new technologies to mitigate the impact of lunar dust, such as better suit designs and air filtration systems. However, this remains a significant hurdle for long-term lunar missions. Artificial intelligence, AI, is playing an increasingly important role in space exploration, and the Artemis mission is no exception. AI can assist with everything from navigation to autonomous systems on the Moon. For example, AI can help control rovers, manage habitats, and even assist astronauts with complex tasks. NASA is also exploring how AI can be used to analyze data collected from the moon and optimize mission planning. As NASA looks to the future, AI will become an even more integral part of lunar and deep space missions. The Artemis mission has reignited public interest in space exploration. The idea of humans returning to the moon after half a century is captivating, and NASA has made a concerted effort to engage the public. From live-streamed launches to educational programs for students, NASA wants to inspire the next generation of explorers. The Artemis mission isn't just about science. It's about fostering a sense of wonder and curiosity about the universe. Public support will be crucial for securing funding and maintaining momentum for future missions. 3D printing is set to play a pivotal role in the Artemis mission, especially in the construction of lunar habitats. Building structures on the moon is challenging due to the lack of traditional building materials and the high cost of transporting supplies from Earth. However, 3D printing offers a solution. NASA is exploring ways to use lunar soil, or regolith, as a material for printing structures on the moon. This technology could revolutionize how we build on the moon and pave the way for long-term human presence. One of the most exciting aspects of the Artemis mission is NASA's commitment to sending the first woman to the moon. This milestone is a symbol of NASA's dedication to diversity and inclusion in space exploration. The selection of a diverse crew for Artemis reflects the broader goal of representing all of humanity in our quest to explore the cosmos. This historic moment will inspire generations of women and girls to pursue careers in STEM and dream of reaching the stars. One of the biggest risks for astronauts traveling beyond Earth's protective magnetic field is exposure to deep space radiation. The moon has no atmosphere to shield astronauts from harmful cosmic rays and solar radiation. NASA is developing advanced radiation shielding for spacecraft and lunar habitats, but it remains a major concern for long-term missions. Understanding and mitigating the effects of radiation will be crucial not just for Artemis, but also for future missions to Mars and beyond. The Artemis mission is often compared to the Apollo program, but the goals are very different. Apollo was about winning the space race and demonstrating technological superiority. Artemis, on the other hand, is about building a sustainable presence on the moon and setting the stage for Mars exploration. While Apollo's legacy is one of triumph and exploration, Artemis is about the future, what humanity can achieve when we work together to push the boundaries of what's possible in space exploration. NASA is designing new spacesuits for the Artemis mission, known as the Exploration Extravehicular Mobility Unit, XEMU. These suits are far more advanced than those used during the Apollo missions. The XEMU is designed to be more flexible, durable, and capable of withstanding the harsh lunar environment. One major upgrade is improved mobility, allowing astronauts to kneel, climb, and conduct scientific experiments with greater ease. Additionally, these suits are designed to protect against the moon's temperature extremes and harmful radiation. Developing reliable suits is critical, as they will be worn during lunar surface activities for extended periods. A key goal of the Artemis mission is to establish a sustainable presence on the moon. This means astronauts won't just be visiting for short stays, they'll be living and working there. NASA envisions building habitats that can house astronauts for weeks or even months at a time. These habitats will need to provide life support systems, including air, water, food, and protection from the moon's harsh conditions. They will also be equipped with labs for conducting experiments. Living on the moon will give astronauts invaluable experience that can be applied to future missions to Mars, where conditions will be even more challenging. Powering lunar operations is another critical challenge for Artemis. The moon has no atmosphere, so solar power is a promising solution. NASA plans to deploy solar panels that can provide electricity for lunar bases and equipment. However, the moon has long nights that can last up to 2 weeks in certain regions, making it necessary to develop energy storage solutions to keep the lights on during these periods of darkness. Solar power will also be used to run systems for extracting water, generating oxygen, and supporting other life-sustaining technologies. Exploring the moon's surface requires more than just walking around. That's why NASA is developing new lunar rovers and exploration vehicles that will allow astronauts to travel farther and carry more equipment. Unlike the rovers used in the Apollo missions, these new vehicles are designed for long-distance travel and may even be autonomous, meaning they can operate without human drivers. This will enable astronauts to cover more ground, conduct scientific research in remote areas, and bring back samples from parts of the moon that have never been explored. Staying in touch with Earth while on the moon is more complex than it sounds. NASA needs reliable communication systems to ensure that astronauts can communicate with mission control, share data, and even conduct live broadcasts. The Artemis mission will rely on advanced satellite networks and ground stations to maintain this connection. However, communicating on the far side of the moon, which is always facing away from Earth, presents a unique challenge. NASA is developing new technologies, including a lunar satellite network, to overcome these obstacles and ensure astronauts can stay connected no matter where they are on the moon. Orion is NASA's next-generation spacecraft, and it will play a central role in the Artemis mission. Designed for deep space exploration, Orion will transport astronauts from Earth to lunar orbit. The spacecraft features advanced life support systems, radiation protection, and enough space to accommodate astronauts for longer missions. Orion will dock with the Lunar Gateway or directly with a lunar lander, depending on the mission. It's also built with safety in mind, incorporating emergency systems to protect the crew during the most dangerous phases of the mission, such as launch and re-entry. Robotics will be essential for the success of the Artemis mission. NASA is developing a range of robotic systems that can assist astronauts with tasks on the moon. These robots will be able to perform tasks like setting up equipment, conducting experiments, and even building infrastructure. Automation is also critical, especially for tasks that are too dangerous or time-consuming for humans. These robotic systems will help pave the way for human exploration by handling some of the heavy lifting and allowing astronauts to focus on the more complex aspects of the mission. The Artemis mission is targeting the moon's south pole, a region that remains largely unexplored. This area is of particular interest because it contains permanently shadowed craters where water ice has been detected. Studying these ice deposits could provide clues about the moon's history and offer a critical resource for future exploration. Scientists are eager to study the geology of the South Pole, as it may hold secrets about the early solar system. Understanding the composition and dynamics of this region will help guide future lunar missions and expand our knowledge of the moon. Living and working on the moon for extended periods presents unique psychological challenges. Astronauts will be isolated from Earth, facing long periods of confinement in small spaces with limited social interaction. NASA is studying ways to mitigate these challenges, including providing astronauts with regular communication with family, mental health support, and recreational activities. The lessons learned from these experiences will be invaluable as NASA prepares for even more prolonged missions to Mars, where astronauts will face even greater isolation and stress. The Artemis mission is opening up the possibility of space tourism. While NASA's primary focus is scientific exploration, private companies are already eyeing the moon as a destination for paying customers. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are developing spacecraft that could one day take tourists on lunar flybys or even land them on the moon. While this is still in the early stages, the advancements made through the Artemis program are likely to make space tourism a reality in the coming decades. This new frontier could change how we view space travel and make the moon accessible to more than just astronauts. The Space Launch System, SLS, is NASA's most powerful rocket, designed to send astronauts to the moon and beyond. SLS will carry the Orion spacecraft into space, providing the necessary thrust to break free from Earth's gravity and reach lunar orbit. This rocket is a key part of the Artemis mission and is being developed to support not only lunar missions, but also future deep space missions to Mars. However, the development of SLS has faced numerous delays and cost overruns, leading to questions about whether it can stay on schedule for Artemis III. The Artemis mission inevitably draws comparisons to the Apollo program, particularly the historic Apollo 11 mission that first landed humans on the moon in 1969. While the technology has advanced significantly since then, the spirit of exploration remains the same. Apollo 11 demonstrated that humans could achieve the seemingly impossible, and Artemis aims to build on that legacy. This time, the focus is on sustainability and laying the groundwork for future exploration. The lessons learned from Apollo continue to influence the Artemis mission, and NASA hopes that Artemis will inspire the next generation just as Apollo 11 did. The Artemis mission isn't just about space exploration, it's also expected to have a significant economic impact. The development of new technologies, spacecraft, and infrastructure will create thousands of jobs and spur innovation in industries ranging from aerospace to energy. The investments made in the Artemis program could have ripple effects across the global economy, leading to advancements in fields like robotics, AI, and sustainable energy. Moreover, the commercial partnerships that NASA is fostering through Artemis are likely to accelerate the growth of the space industry, making space more accessible to businesses and private individuals. NASA has faced numerous challenges in the lead-up to Artemis, from budget constraints to technical setbacks. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.